So today is May 16th, and here's a little update of everything that I've planted. So in the last video, I planted a bunch of sunflowers, a bunch of different types of flowers and herbs. The sunflowers actually did come up already, and the mammoth Russians are already all into the garden. But we have the Velvet Queen right here, the red sunflower. These have all germinated, and I've given some away. These are going to be put in the garden today. So all of the mammoth Russians are out there. Just got to put these guys in. A bunch of zucchinis came up. Spaghetti squash. My catnip came up. I have some morning glories here that I pulled up out of the ground. I'm actually going to give these to a friend. He lets them grow up around his dead tree, and they cover it with beautiful blooms and really pretty heart-shaped green leaves. So that looks really nice every year. And then the tomatoes, so these are actually all leftover tomatoes. We've put 99% of the tomatoes in the garden already. Most of these are leftovers. I do have a few that I'm letting get a little bit bigger before I put in the garden, like these two spoon tomatoes. They were really small. They were doing pretty bad. I put them in different soil, and they seem to be doing much better. They look really good. A couple videos ago, when I up-potted the tomatoes, I was worried because I planted some of them in this woody soil versus the fluffy seed starting mix, and they both have done good. They've been fine. This one does look a little thinner than this one here, but it's not a huge difference. Of course, this has some sun scald, but overall there wasn't that much of a difference. And so here I did a little experiment. I wanted to show just exactly how easy it is to plant zinnias. They're such a beautiful flower. Every year, everyone always comments how beautiful they are, and they are so easy to grow. And I took a baking pan, put some holes in the bottom for drainage. I filled it with potting soil, took a pack of zinnia seeds, sprinkled the seeds right on top, didn't cover them, watered them in, kept them moist, and they all came up. That is the easiest flower I've ever grown and the most beautiful. So grab yourself a pack of zinnia seeds, sprinkle it on the ground, and water it, and they'll come up. I'll be transplanting these guys out into the flower bed. This is a candy cane mix, so they have really pretty stripes, different colors. They'll be really nice out there. So we have the moonflowers that came up. We got a really bad storm last night, so everything is just a mess with soil sprayed everywhere. We have some calendula that came up. No butterfly weed yet. No rosemary. I actually did get a rosemary plant, so I'm not worried about this. The cypress vine for my hummingbirds did come up. You can see here a couple seedlings. No ground cherries yet. I'm really hoping they germinate. I remember them taking a long time last year, so no cucamelons yet. I did plant some orange hat tomatoes. These get about 6 to 9 inches tall. Just a short, nice little tomato plant to have on your back porch or your deck. Come out, grab a few for a snack. Like a little kitchen garden. This is the Kajari row. I don't think any of these have germinated yet. The bottle gourds, none of those. We do have a bunch of spaghetti squash and zucchinis that germinated. Here's the pepper tray. That's been here for a while. I'm letting these guys get a little bit bigger. I don't know if we're going to actually get any peppers off of these because they were planted so late. But we'll see. Have some dill over there, some more herbs, cilantro, parsley, mint, thyme, amaranth in the back. And here's some more tomatoes that I'll be giving away. So I took some purple basil that I had, and put it in this pot. We're going to keep this on the porch, and this will be like a little miniature kitchen garden to come out. Snip off a few leaves, use them as we need them. And then since I had so many Sugar Rush peach plants, I put one in this pot here just to see how it would do. It's already got a ton of buds on it, and it's so early. I planted those February 2nd or February 6th. I can't remember, but these got a really, really good head start. So I'm hoping we'll have tons and tons of peppers this year. I broke up the coleus, so I did have 2 coleus in each of these pots here. This watermelon coleus, and I got some creeping Jenny. So I took 1 coleus out of each pot, put it in this pot with some creeping Jenny here, and made a cute little arrangement. So if you go to a nursery or a big box store, you'll see just how expensive it is to get like a decorative flower pot with a mix of different flowers or whatever. This creeping Jenny was $3. I got a 4-pack of coleus for $3. This pot here was $1 at Dollar Tree when everything was $1. And then I filled it with some potting soil, so probably $6-7 it took to make this once you split everything up, versus $25 to $30 at a store. So yeah, if you can do it yourself, it's so much cheaper just to learn how to grow stuff from seed, start your own plants, get little tiny plants in a pack, and make your own little flower pots here. It's so much cheaper. Impatiens are doing good. I have another one over here. This beautiful watermelon coleus. I love this. Still can't find any chocolate covered cherry coleus, but that's okay. This is beautiful. My nasturtiums still have not germinated. I probably should have nicked the seed, did some scarification, but I didn't. So just waiting on these guys. I got a patchouli plant. As I've said before, I started a skincare business. I make soaps, lotions, creams, oils, bath bombs, all different types of bath goodies, skin goodies. I wanted a patchouli plant. I love patchouli to be able to use for some of my skincare stuff. So I went to the nursery, got 2 of these, planted one in the garden, have one for here on the back porch because it smells so good. These plants, if you don't like patchouli, get a patchouli plant and smell the difference of real, like fresh patchouli. It is absolutely amazing. Then I have this little guy. So Sunday we went to the nursery. This is a curry plant. We were walking around and I kept getting a whiff of maple syrup. And I just thought maybe somebody was walking near me that was drinking a latte or maybe vaping like some pancake vape juice or something. But I noticed I only smelled it when I walked past this guy. So this little plant, this herb, smells just like maple syrup. It is so wild. I've never smelled anything like it. It smells so good, and as soon as you walk outside on my back deck here, when the wind blows and it whiffs past this plant, you get just a big, huge whiff of maple syrup. It is so cool. This is not the herb, like the Indian curry herb, I believe. This is just an aromatic herb. It doesn't have much of a flavor. It's kind of bitter. Yeah, it's just used for the aroma. I'm definitely going to buy one of these guys every year because they just smell amazing. So the morning glories that I put in the hanging baskets, these guys are doing good. They've all came up. I've taken some zinnias. As you can see, there's one right here, one right here. I'm not sure what these 2 things are right there. The zinnias, I put them out I had a few in a cup that I started. So they're in the ground. The morning glories did great in the basket. They all germinated. I have some cat grass. Another hanging basket that I did. Put some more zinnias in the ground right here. And I'll do a little garden update so far. So here's the garden. So far, looks a little empty, but it's not. Have some, I took all along the edge of the beds and put African marigolds. I've noticed when I go to the store that I can find every single type of marigold seed except an African marigold. I can never find African marigold seeds. If anybody knows why that is, let me know. I always have to end up buying the plant. I like the puffball shaped marigolds. So I was just wondering why I can never find the seeds for those. Are they grown like specially? I don't know. So we have a Sugar Rush peach pepper right here. I have a Black Beauty. I believe this is, yes, Black Krim. We have an Ananas Noir, Paul Robeson, German Pink, which we thought was a German Johnson. Apparently, from everything that I've read online, they are not the same thing, but we'll see. Have a Tabasco plant there. 3 Purple Beauty bell peppers. Have a cayenne, a ghost pepper, and then I'm going to take some cherry tomatoes and put back there. I am going to have to move this Tabasco pepper here because I was watching videos the other night on YouTube. This guy is going to get huge, and I don't think this is an ideal place for him because he's going to need a lot of space. I'm going to have to move that plant. We'll see. Have some more peppers over here. This is a poblano, another Sugar Rush peach. We have a brandywine tomato. The bugs have tore up my sweet basil. I'm hoping somehow, I doubt it because I don't see any shoots on the side. This one's probably a goner, unfortunately. And then my purple basil, this is either red Reuben or opal basil, not sure which one. I think it's red Reuben. So I came out here yesterday to discover that my watermelon seedlings have finally came up. I was really worried about these guys because it seemed like it took like weeks and weeks. The soil has warmed up, and I think that's why they came up. So, yep, tons of watermelon seedlings. You can see all these guys, sugar baby watermelons. And then I'll be putting Kajari melons on this side of the arched trellis. As you can see, we have a cow panel, arched trellis, more watermelon seedlings. Here is a Berkeley tie-dye pink tomato. We were at the hardware store the other day, the local hardware store, and we saw Berkeley tie-dye pink tomatoes. And I could not believe that because you can't really find like good heirloom varieties at the store. So they actually had Berkeley. I grew these from seed, but they did have the plants at the hardware store. So if you want to find some cool varieties, you don't want to grow them from seed, check out your hardware store. So that was really cool. You see, we have over here, this is a Black Beauty. I wanted to make sure this year that I put all my Black Beauties in places where they were getting tons of sun. So the Black Beauties I put all on the edge of the bed. Let me see here. This is a green bell pepper, California Wonder. This is a seed pack that I got from Dollar Tree. It's actually a couple years old, and they germinated. So we have a Sun Gold. I've waited for 3 years now to try Sun Gold. So I grabbed one of those guys, cherry tomato. Everybody says it's the sweetest, best cherry tomato they've ever had. So I don't know, we'll see. We have Cherokee Purple back there, blue cream berry cherry tomato. So this middle arched trellis here, because I have 3. So there's one, here's one, and here's one. This middle arched trellis here, I'm gonna do nothing but cherry tomatoes, and then the ones on the end are gonna have Kajari melons and watermelons. So this is a blue cream berry. We have a spoon tomato here, black cherry tomato, another poblano. I believe that is another purple beauty bell pepper. The sweet basil, purple basil, another poblano, the beautiful little golden sage, another blue cream berry. That was my husband's favorite cherry tomato last year. I didn't care for it. I like the dark, acidic, sweet tomatoes. This tomato reminded me of a grape. Like, it tastes like a grape. It wasn't very sweet to me, at least. There's another, actually, I don't know what that is. Oh, this is a poblano. We have 4 poblano plants. Can't say that. So this is a black strawberry. So this year, Baker Creek had a new cherry tomato seed that they sold, and it was called black strawberry. It's supposed to get like a green, black, red. So we'll see how these guys do. Look at all of these volunteers. These are all from tomato seeds that just fell in the ground, and they all germinated. I hate pulling up volunteer plants, because you know, they just want to grow so bad. I feel so terrible pulling them up, but have to make room for my other ones. So this bed probably has 1,000 tomato volunteers. I don't know if you can see, like, all these little green spots. Those are all tomatoes from cherry tomatoes that just fell off in the bed last year. So it's easier to grow from seed than you think. Plants are very resilient. They'll find a way to grow. There's another black cherry tomato. I have some more Cracker Jack marigolds. This is a jalapeno pepper. We have brandywine here. More watermelon seedlings. More tomato volunteers. Look at all this. These poor little guys. Then this tomato is a Cherokee Purple. That was my absolute favorite last year, the Cherokee Purple. Delicious. It was sweet to me. Had a real rich, acidic tomato flavor. Absolutely loved it. It's probably the reason that it's the most popular heirloom tomato. There will always be room in my garden for a couple of those plants. Then we have the Paul Robeson. This is, from what I understand, kind of like a black creme. I wanted to try this because I watch Roots and Refuge sometimes, and she has always raved about that plant, so interested to try that. More watermelon seedlings. Let's see, this is another black creme. This is another Sugar Rush peach pepper. We have a 4th of July tomato, another Berkeley tie-dye pink, another Paul Robeson, brandywine, another 4th of July tomato. This is supposed to produce tomatoes by the 4th of July. We wanted to have at least one hybrid tomato in our beds, just in case, you know, diseases, pests, and plus it's an early producer. The only thing that I didn't particularly care for when I read about this plant was that the tomatoes are like, I don't know, saladette size, you would call. But that's fine. Last year we grew the early girl. I think that took 75 days, or maybe 50. Is it 50 or 75? It was really quick. Yeah, we really liked the early girl, so if we don't like these this year, we'll go back to the early girl. But we like to keep a hybrid in the garden, just because most of our plants are heirlooms, and heirlooms, unfortunately, aren't bred to be disease resistant, pest resistant. They're bred for their flavor, and that's it. So if those guys start dying, at least we have a backup of a hybrid, disease resistant, pest resistant hybrid. And that's the garden so far. We'll go back along the fence here. I started a little herb section. So I have some German chamomile here, and then true lavender. I started this lavender last year from seed. I planted the seeds in June, and they overwintered outside. I didn't do anything, so there they are now. Have some strawberry blonde calendula. I got these plants from the nursery. I didn't plant those from seed. There's a rosemary plant that I got, another patchouli plant, and then along the fence line, if you can see these guys, there's one, and as you go down, there's one. And yep, it looks like the bugs have eaten this one. So I put out a bunch of mammoth Russian sunflowers. Here's another one. I put out a bunch of mammoth Russian sunflowers, and I'm going to intermix them with the Velvet Queen. So this is going to be like a privacy fence. Let me back up. Yeah, every year I do a line of, along that back fence there, I do a line of sunflowers just so my neighbors don't have to look at my garden here. Believe it or not, some people actually don't like the look of gardens. So, and I do have an HOA. I haven't got any complaints yet. Maybe it's because they have nice sunflowers to look at. So I'll do that every year for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna have mammoth Russian, Velvet Queen, mammoth Russian, Velvet Queen, so on and so forth, all the way down the fence line. Red sunflowers, yellow sunflowers. I thought that would be really pretty. So, but this is the garden so far, and I'll do another update in about a week.